Dear students, we shall come to know about the second PUC chapter 8. This is 8.2D video. Second PUC Macroeconomics. This is BASAVARAJ. Chapter 8. 8.2 D video. Expenditure method of national income accounting. It is 8.2 video. Video. 8.2 video. Expenditure method of national income accounting. In the last class, we had been come to know the methods of calculating national income. There are three methods: product method or value added method, expenditure method, and also income method. Still we has to be go for national income accounting for income method in the next class, but this is expenditure method. In what way the money income can be earned by the people has to be get spent. What the income has been spent by the people must be calculated equivalent to the income earned by the people. The expenditure has to be get equal. In the case expenditure is less, there must be a saving. In the case expenditure is more, there must be a loan or advances. Just we shall come to know the meaning of expenditure method. Meaning of expenditure method. The sum total of all final expenditure. Expenditure received by the farms and also households. Is called expenditure method. It is sum total of all final expenditure. The sum total of all final expenditure in the sense that final expenditure, the expenditure made by the firms not on the raw materials and also semi-produced goods. It has to be for the final good. This is called as final expenditure. After making the expenditure, it should not be go for the further production of any other goods. Could be called as final expenditure. Sum total of all final expenditure received by the firms. Whatever the expenditure is being made has to be paid by the firms in the economy. It means total how many firms are there has to be get paid the expenses finally in order to produce the goods. In an economy during 1 year could be called as expenditure method of calculating national income. Expenditure method of calculating national income can. Here the things to be note that final expenses. Final expenses in producing the raw materials. Expenses. Transport of finished goods. Semi-finished goods. To produce final goods. See, whatever the expenses have been made by the firms, it has not been done on the semi-finished goods. It has to be get semi-finished goods has to be made used in the final production of goods or final goods. ಅಂದರೆ ಅಂತಿಮ ಸರಕುಗಳನ್ನು ಉತ್ಪಾದನೆ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಯಾವ್ಯಾವ ವಸ್ತುಗಳನ್ನು ಖರೀದಿ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಾರೋ ಅಂಥದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಅಂತಿಮ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆನ್ಸಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ಏನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ? ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಎಸ್ ಫೈನಲ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆನ್ಸಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. That final expenditure has to be made by all the firms in the economy that taken together is nothing but to be called as expenditure method. That's why the expenditure method is the method in which all final expenses made by the firms in producing the goods of final in a year during one year in a country could be called as expenditure method. Because when the firms getting the revenue by producing the goods and selling them in the market, they must have to spend the income in producing the another goods also can be by buying the goods could be called as expenditure method. ಅಂದರೆ ಉದ್ದಿಮೆಗಳು ಒಂದು ವರ್ಷ ಉತ್ಪಾದನೆ ಮಾಡಿದಂಥ ವಸ್ತುಗಳನ್ನು ಮಾರಾಟ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಮಾರಾಟ ಮಾಡಿ ಬಂದಂಥ ಆದಾಯ ಅದು ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಅದನ್ನ ರೆವಿನ್ಯೂ ಅಂತೀವಿ. ಆ ರೆವಿನ್ಯೂವನ್ನು ಅದು ಅಷ್ಟು ಸಮೇತ ಪುನಃ ಖರ್ಚು ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ ಯಾವ್ದ ಮೇಲೆ? ಮತ್ತೊಂದು ವಸ್ತುವನ್ನು ಉತ್ಪಾದನೆ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬೇಕಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ವಸ್ತುವನ್ನು ಖರೀದಿ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಹಾಗೆ ಬಂದಂಥ ರೆವಿನ್ಯೂವನ್ನು ಮತ್ತೊಂದು ವಸ್ತುವನ್ನು ಉತ್ಪಾದನೆ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಏನು ಖರ್ಚು ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ದಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆನ್ಸಸ್ ನಥಿಂಗ್ ಬಟ್ ಬಿ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಎಸ್ ಫೈನಲ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಂಡಿಚರ್. That final expenditure made by the firms in producing the other goods is nothing but to be called as expenditure method of calculating national income. ಹಾಗೆ ಒಂದು ದೇಶದ ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರೀಯ ಆದಾಯವನ್ನು ಎಲ್ಲ ಫರ್ಮ್ಸು ಎಷ್ಟು ವಸ್ತುಗಳನ್ನು ಉತ್ಪಾದನೆ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಖರ್ಚು ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ ಹಣವನ್ನು, ಆ ಹಣವನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಒಟ್ಟು ಕೂಡಿಸಿದಾಗ ಬರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ಅದು ವೆಚ್ಚದ ವಿಧಾನದಲ್ಲಿ ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರೀಯ ಆದಾಯವನ್ನು ಲೆಕ್ಕಾಚಾರ ಮಾಡುವುದು ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಷನ್ ಆರ್ ಅಕೌಂಟಿಂಗ್ ಆಫ್ ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಬೈ ದ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಂಡಿಚರ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ. ಬಟ್ ವಿ ಶಾಲ್ ಕಮ್ ಟು ನೋ ವಾಟ್ ದ ಇನ್ಪುಟ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ದೇರ್, raw materials are there, and also example inputs, raw materials, semi-finished goods, labor expenses, etc. This is what is, in what way the firm can possibly get spent on buying the goods to produce the other goods could be called as final expenditure. It may be on the inputs, raw materials, it may be on the raw materials, it may be on the semi-finished goods, labor expenses, transport expenses, and also many others, fuel also, electricity also, and even other expenses of the taxes and many others have been included in the final expenditure made by the firms in producing the goods. This is what is the expenditure method of measuring the national income in the economy. Let us come to know what are the three ways are there to be get measure the national income under the expenditure method. Expenditure method. But here there are three ways. There are three ways to calculate expenditures. There are four types or four groups of expenses. Under expenditure method. Among them, first one is final consumption expenditure. That is CI. Consumption expenditure, I means industries. All the industries are firms. Final consumption expenditure made by all the firms and also many others can be by households of goods and services. The final consumption expenditure, that is CI, by households and firms to produce goods and services in a country or economy. This is what is first one or first group of expenditure, that is final consumption expenditure. Second, the final investment expenditure. That is investment by I. The final investment expenditure. By comes on capital goods. In order to buy the capital goods, what the expenses have been made by the firms on capital goods. We know very well capital goods. Capital goods are the goods which are used in the production of other goods or in order to produce the other goods. What the goods a firm can be used as a capital investment goods or capital goods. But it might be on the machines. Machines, tools and also others, they can be recurring in using of them. ಯಾವುದನ್ನು ನಾವು ನಿರಂತರವಾಗಿ ಬಳಸ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೀವಿ ಉದ್ದಿಮೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಉತ್ಪಾದನೆ ಮಾಡುವಾಗ ಅಂತಹ ವಸ್ತುಗಳು ಅವು ನಿರಂತರವಾಗಿ ಬಳಕೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಬಂಡವಾಳ ಹಾಕಬೇಕು. ಬಂಡವಾಳ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಹಾಕೋದ್ರಿಂದ ದೇರ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಎಸ್ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಗೂಡ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. In this way, what the goods have been used in the production of other goods, they can be called as capital goods can be. Investment goods, but GDP under this it has to be an investment method also can possibly be get included, and even it can be as investment goods but in the production of other goods it has to be not included of such kind of the consumer goods and also other goods. Only the capital goods have been taken into consideration under the final investment expenditure can be, and even the final consumption and investment expenditure by the government. That is GI on consumption and investment expenses. The government also spend some of the amount in order to produce the goods. Government can be spend certain amount on the consumption goods and also investment goods, because the government can have the consumption of consumer goods for offices, quarters, residences of the people, those who are elected bodies, and also government bureaucrats also can be possible to get use. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸುಮಾರು ವಸ್ತುಗಳು ನಾವು ಸರ್ಕಾರ ಸಮೇತ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ ಕನ್ಸ್ಯೂಮರ್ ಗೂಡ್ಸನ್ನು. ಅಂದರೆ ನಾವು ಮನೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಟಿವಿಯನ್ನು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ಕನ್ಸ್ಯೂಮರ್ ಗೂಡ್, ಆದರೆ ಆಫೀಸಲ್ಲಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ಅದು ಸಮೇತ ಕನ್ಸ್ಯೂಮರ್ ಗೂಡ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಹಾಗೆ ಸರ್ಕಾರ ಸಮೇತ ಖರ್ಚು ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಈವನ್ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ firms are there, industries are there. What industries are there for the government, it is to be get spent on buying the such goods also can be. That's why it is to be get spent the capital goods to be used in the government factories. That's why investment goods also can be possible to get buy by the government. That's why government can spend the income on the buying of consumables and also investment goods and capital goods can be. This is what is final government expenditure made by the government on buying of consumer goods and also capital goods and investment goods can be. Here investment expenditures is nothing but to be called as capital expenditure, capital expenses, and even last is external expenditure. Fourth one, the final external expenditure. Final external expenditure in the sense that it is to be made the expenses to be get by the government regarding the export revenues and also others can be, because to goods and other things to sell, buying, abroad. Government has to sell the goods of domestic country or market to the other countries in the foreign market in order to get the revenue. The thing is, what type of the goods are excess in production in the country, that is to be get export. Such exports nothing but to be called as sell. The government must be sell such goods of exporting that can be have the revenue can. That's why in order to get the revenue, it is to be spend some amount in selling of the goods. Even sometimes what the scarcity of goods are there in the domestic market or nationally, it is to be get buy from the other goods can be, sorry, other countries can be. This is what is ಯಾವ ವಸ್ತುಗಳು ನಮ್ಮ ದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಎಕ್ಸಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಉತ್ಪಾದನೆ ಆಗ್ತಿದ್ದಾವೆ ಅವನ್ನ ಹೊರದೇಶಕ್ಕೆ ರಫ್ತು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಯಾವ ವಸ್ತುಗಳು ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಬೇಕಾಗಿದೆ, ಸ್ಕೇರ್ಸಿಟಿ ಇದೆ, ಕೊರತೆಯಲ್ಲಿದೆ, ಅವುಗಳನ್ನು ಹೊರದೇಶದಿಂದ ನಾವು ತರಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ಹಾಗೆ ಕಳಿಸ್ಕೊಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಮತ್ತು ತರಿಸ್ಕೊಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಏನು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆನ್ಸಸ್ಸನ್ನು ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ನವರು ಪೇ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟರ್ನಲ್ ಟ್ರೇಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಂಪೋರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ಸ್, ದಟ್ ಕುಡ್ ಬಿ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಎಸ್ ಫೈನಲ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟರ್ನಲ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಂಡಿಚರ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ನಥಿಂಗ್ ಬಟ್ ಟು ಬಿ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಎಸ್ exports and also import. Regarding the exports and imports expenditure is X minus M. It means from the amount of exports we must be deduct the amount of imports, then we can have the net exports ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ನೆಟ್ ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಅಬ್ರಾಡ್ ಅಂತಲೂ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಅದರ ಅರ್ಥ ಒಟ್ಟಾರೆಯಾಗಿ ಇಂಪೋರ್ಟ್ಸ್ನ ಅಮೌಂಟನ್ನು ಮೈನಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೋರ್ಟಿಂದ ಇನ್ನೆಷ್ಟು ಉಳಿತು ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ, ಆ ಹೆಚ್ಚಿಗೆ ನಾವು ಉಳಿದ್ರೆ ಇಟ್ ವುಡ್ ಬಿ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಎಸ್ ನೆಟ್ ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಅಬ್ರಾಡ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಇನ್ ದಿಸ್ ವೇ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಂಡಿಚರ್ ಫೈನಲ್ ಕನ್ಸಂಪ್ಷನ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಂಡಿಚರ್ ಮೇಡ್ ಬೈ ದ ಪೀಪಲ್, ಹೌಸ್ ಹೋಲ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಸ್ ಟುಗೆದರ್. ಅಂದರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕನ್ಸಂಪ್ಷನ್ ವಸ್ತುಗಳ ಮೇಲೆ ಒಟ್ಟಾರೆಯಾಗಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಖರ್ಚಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಸೊ ಆ ಖರ್ಚಾಗತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಅಮೌಂಟನ್ನು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ಅದು CI ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. CI plus the final investment expenditure, that is II plus what the final government expenditure made on consumables and also capital goods and investment goods could be called as GI plus what the expenditure has been made on buying and selling of foreign goods in the foreign market, nothing but exports and imports expenditures. It is nothing but to become under the final external expenditure X minus M. X minus M. That together we can have the national income accounting as CI plus II plus GI plus X minus M anta ಕರಿತೀವಿ. That simply we can have CIGX minus M is the formula to calculate the national income or GDP under expenditure method ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. That we shall come to know the what is the formula to calculate national income under expenditure method. Expenditure method ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಅನ್ನು ಹೇಗೆ ಫೈಂಡ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಅಂತ ನೋಡ್ಬೋದು. Formula to calculate national income under expenditure method. GDP national income equals C plus I plus G plus X minus M is the formula to calculate national income accounting. National income accounting, that is GDP or national income. Here C is nothing but the gross consumption expenditure, gross final consumption expenditure by households. By households. Here gross final consumption expenditure by households. It is nothing but to be called as gross final consumption expenditure. Then I is the gross investment expenditure. Gross private investment expenditure by firms. Then G is nothing but the government final consumption. Investment expenditure can and even final expenditure and exports. Exports, final expenditure on exports. This is what is CIGX minus M. Here C gross consumption expenditure, I gross private investment expenditure, G government final consumption and investment expenditure, X minus M final expenditure on exports. This is what is how to calculate the but out of this, investment is the most investment is the it is one of the most unstable ವೇರಿಯಬಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಅನ್ಸ್ಟೇಬಲ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಅನ್ಸ್ಟೇಬಲ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಸ್ಥಿರವಾಗಿರಲ್ಲ, ಅಂದರೆ ಇಷ್ಟೇ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯನೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಂಡಿಚರ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ ಆಫ್ ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಅಕೌಂಟಿಂಗ್. This is the meaning, formula and group of expenditures made by different sectors can be then formula to calculate national income accounting under expenditure method. Now we shall come to know what questions of assignment you have to be get done after this watching video. Write the answers. First is formula to calculate national income under expenditure method. Second meaning, national income it is measuring of national income under expenditure method. The expenditure method. Fourth one, see the questions to be answered after watching this full video. First question, formula to calculate national income under expenditure method formula ಬರೀಬೇಕು. Second, meaning of national income under expenditure method. Under expenditure method, what is meant by national income or GDP? We have to be get answer. Third one, group of expenses under expenditure method. Expenditure method ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ group of expenditures ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಬರೀಬೇಕು. Fourth one, which is the most unstable variable among expenditures under expenditure method. ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಂಡಿಚರ್ ಮೆಥಡಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಐಟಮ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ವೇರಿಯೇಬಲ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ದಾವೆ. ಆ ವೇರಿಯೇಬಲ್ಸ್ there are 4 are there. That is C, I, G, X minus M. There are the 4 variables. Out of these 4 variables, which is the most unstable variable? ಯಾವುದು ಬಹಳಷ್ಟು ಸಾರಿ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗ್ತಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಏರಿಳಿತವನ್ನು ಕಾಣುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ವೇರಿಯಬಲ್ ಯಾವುದು ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಈ ವಿಡಿಯೋ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಈವನ್ ನೇಮ್ ಎನಿ ಫ್ಯೂ ಫೈನಲ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆನ್ಸಸ್ ಇನ್ಕ್ಲೂಡೆಡ್ ಇನ್ ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಅಕೌಂಟಿಂಗ್. ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಅಕೌಂಟಿಂಗಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ್ಯಾವುದು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆನ್ಸಸ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಆ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆನ್ಸಸ್ಸನ್ನು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಟು ಬಿ ಗೆಟ್ ಮೆನ್ಷನ್ ಆರ್ ನೇಮ್ ದೇಮ್ ವಿಚ್ ಆರ್ ದೋಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆನ್ಸಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಟು ಬಿ ಗೆಟ್ ಇನ್ಕ್ಲೂಡೆಡ್ ಇನ್ ದ ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಅಕೌಂಟಿಂಗ್ ಅಂಡರ್ ದ expenditure method. But after this, writing the answers for this assignment questions, you have to be note on the key points also. Write the key points. First we have to write the key answers, then we can go for the answering the questions what I had been given. But while watching the video, you must be make down some of the key points while stopping your video. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರೆಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಸಾಕು, ವಿಡಿಯೋ ಸ್ಟಾಪ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸ್ಟಾಪ್ ಆದಮೇಲೆ ಪಾಯಿಂಟನ್ನು ಬರ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು. ಪಾಯಿಂಟನ್ನು ಬರ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಮೇಲೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಅದನ್ನು ಮತ್ತೆ ಒತ್ತಿ ರನ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಮತ್ತೆ ರನ್ ಆದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಮತ್ತೆ ಕೀ ಪಾಯಿಂಟನ್ನು ಬರ್ಕೊತ ಹೋಗ್ಬೋದು. ಹಂಗೆ ಒಂದೊಂದು ಲೈನ್ ನೋಡಿದ ಮೇಲೆ ಅದನ್ನು ತಾನಾಗೆ ನಾವು ಕೀ ಪಾಯಿಂಟನ್ನು ಬರ್ಕೊತ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಅದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಪಾಸ್ ಕೊಡಬೇಕು. ಪಾಸ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಸ್ಟಾಪ್ ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಮುಂದೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ಬೋದು. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ದ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್. Even though there has been the income method also as and other methods also can be possible to be come to know. Income method. There are income method, all factors of fraction. That's why GDP is nothing but to be called as land, labor, rent, wages, interest and profit. Interest and profit, this is what is the sum up of the total income received by all the factors of production, is land, labor, capital and organization. Together is nothing but to be called as the method of measuring national income by the ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಮೆಥಡ್. ಅಂದರೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಫರ್ಮ್ಸು ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಲೇಬರ್ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ಗೆ ಆದಾಯವನ್ನು ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಆದಾಯ ಕೊಟ್ಟಾಗ ಆ ಆದಾಯವನ್ನು ಒಟ್ಟು ಕೂಡಿಸಿದಾಗ ಬರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ಆ ದೇಶದ ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರೀಯ ಆದಾಯ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಆದಾಯದ ವಿಧಾನ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಅದೇ ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಮೆಥಡ್. ಆದಾಯ, ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ಮೇ ಬಿ ರೆಂಟ್, ವೇಜಸ್, ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಪ್ರಾಫಿಟ್. These are the 4 factors of production ಗೆ ಕೊಡ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ remunerations on with the factor payments. All the factor payments has to be get added together to get the national income under the income method. This is what is how the income method can be make the sum total of factor payments made by the farm sector to the household sector. It's nothing but to be income for the household sector. That's why that income can be possible to be get calculated by the National Accounting Committee. This is what is how the national income can be calculated by adding up of the sum of the rent, wages or salaries, interest and profit. Rent for the land, it has been get by land, salary for labor and even interest for the capital and profit for organization. Capital for organization, profit for organization. In this way, rent, wages, interest and profit are the most important revenues. That revenue of the country can become the income for all. That's what is income method. This is the last 2 methods, expenditure method and also income method. In the next class we will see the other videos. Okay, thank you very much.